Now, for an update on the fixed income and FX markets, ahead of the MPC announcement tomorrow, I'm joined in the studios by Adebayo, Adeyemo, the country treasurer, and markets heads at Citi Nigeria. Bayo, thank you very much for joining us. So I think three things to take note of over the last 2 months. So these are the things I imagine the MPC will be talking about now. So we have lower yields in the fixed income markets, we have a stronger naira, but then again, we still have this issue around liquidity in the interbank market, which of course the MPC is supposed to direct in terms of how they mop up that liquidity. But let's start first of all from your take about the naira and what needs to change, if anything at all, in terms of their strategy around the naira. Because like I mentioned, it's stable at this point.
Well, regarding the naira, I think central bank has done very well in keeping it stable thus far. If you compared previous MPC to where we are today, naira is strengthened by a whole naira. So I mean, today they closed at about 162.15, and it's traded between a 50 kobo band in the past week. So relatively stable, which is where they want it to be. I think they've had to intervene. In fact, they've not had to intervene at all in the past couple of weeks.
Because we've seen those flows from the oil majors, right?
Well, yes, and also we, from time to time, we see occasional flows from offshore also supporting the currency. We must remember that the global markets are still supportive of EM for now. So really, I think for the currency, most of what needs to be done is on the fiscal side. Unfortunately, we seem to be seeing some semblance of discipline there. So the reserves are started to tick up. It's at, I think it's about 38.4 billion now, which is a billion up. If you compare that to 2 months ago. So there's some progress there gradually.
Right. So no need to touch anything around that, really.
I don't.
We're in a good place for the naira. Okay, but this liquidity thing continues to be a recurring discussion around the interbank market. And how will you describe how that has changed over the last 2 months? Would you say that the liquidity problem has become less or more over the last 2 months, given what the MPC have to deal with right now?
Well, I think it's gotten better. I think, from the maturities, the OMO maturities, I think they've taken care of most of the larger maturities. We still have some maturities, but I don't see it as something that they won't be able to handle, given what they have handled in the past already. So if you ask me, I think the liquidity situation isn't as bad. The glut of liquidity isn't as bad as we had.
So historically, everything looks better. In fact, so it's probably easier for them to deal with. But then looking forward, though, what are the big challenges coming up that you think may be directing what they decide on today?
Well, I reckon they have their eyes on inflation, so they won't.
That has been moving up.
Yes, it's been ticking up slowly, still well within their 6 to 9% band, but again, I'm sure they would not relax at this point, especially as we approach elections and concerns around pre-election spending and all of that. Right. So I'm sure it's something that they'll talk about, and that certainly would be a key factor in determining what they will do tomorrow.
Right. I think another point that may be interesting, which I just picked up, was maturities of AMCON bonds. Now, that was a discussion we had late last year when everybody talked about this trillion naira maturity, etc. We've moved past that, and actually was pretty easy in terms of how they handled it. Do you think this could be a challenge in the next few months?
Well, again, another big point scored by the central bank. We had all these concerns about how they would manage the huge maturities coming from AMCON, but they did it very well. With a combination of T-bill swaps and cash, I think they were able to manage that very well. So again, I don't see this next month's maturity being such a big concern,
right.
that they won't be able to manage.
Well, it seems everything is easy this time, and probably the easiest one to call in a while. We'll see if it plays out as many people have suggested. Thank you very much. Adebayo Adeyemo is the country treasurer and markets head at Citi Nigeria, giving us an update on the fixed income market and a few points to think about as we head into that big MPC decision tomorrow.